Have you always wanted to start your own business? Do you have an innovative idea or an invention, but just don't know how to turn it into a company? Are you already in business and need some help growing? The BRF's Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program can help. At EAP, we work alongside you, helping you with things like financial modeling, funding strategy, pitch preparation, and marketing strategy. So what are you waiting for? Go to eapla.com today and set up a time to talk with our team. Let EAP help you launch or grow your business in North Louisiana today.
Welcome back to On The Cusp. I've got my co-host Matt Snyder with me here today.
Thank you,
and we've got Don Rucker from Outerlink. Okay, and a lot of people in Shreveport are not going to know what Outerlink is, but we really wanted you on the show because this community was really working hard to build a defense industry in and around Barksdale Air Force Base. So Don, tell us about yourself and Outerlink.
All right. Well, Outerlink has been a labor of love, mostly to try to improve the safety record of the air medical industry. Metro Aviation, local company here in Shreveport, operates 167 air medical helicopters around the country, and it's not a very safe industry. The Discovery Channel would have you think that the most dangerous occupation in America is being on a crab boat in Alaska.
Yeah, true.
But it's actually being part of an air medical rescue crew.
Really?
They fly out, they're very brave men and women that go out and in the night and land in places that weren't designed to be landing zones. And so it's dangerous. And Mike Stanberry, the founder of Metro, wanted to see if there were ways to leverage technology to make the industry safer. So Outerlink had been a vendor to Metro, supplying aircraft tracking, just very basic aircraft tracking, and approached Outerlink with the challenge: how can we leverage technology to know what's going on with that aircraft after it lifts and flies away, right? And so that's what Outerlink has been engaged in for the last 15 years or so. And it's been my pleasure to be aboard during that time. We had a very generous budget, and basically we're allowed to be as creative as we could be to try to solve the problem.
And
So
this is out of Shreveport.
It is out of Shreveport,
This is
right
out of
over
Shreveport.
there, not far from the downtown airport is where y'all are located.
That's
and you
correct.
said 128?
No, 167 aircraft.
167 aircraft
Yeah.
right now have your technology.
Well, 430 have our technology, but Metro happens to be the local company that had the vision for the system
So
originally.
these are helicopters operating all over the country.
All over the country. We also have, other markets besides air medical. We have probably 150 or so aircraft in the oil and gas business that deliver workers to and from the rigs.
Very cool.
But air medical's where it started.
Now, I got introduced to Outerlink through General Retired Gerald Goodfellow.
Yes.
Okay. And because we were doing a lot to help build the defense industry around Shreveport. And tell us a little bit about your interaction that got you started down the defense path.
It's a great story. It's two dads on a soccer field.
No way.
Literally, two dads on a soccer field, just having a conversation. What do you do? Well, I'm in the Air Force Reserves and I fly B-52, and then Mike's son Todd, who explained what Metro did, and so we gave them a tour, and they saw our operational control center. and saw the Outerlink driven technology in that center. And it really is like something from a Hollywood movie. It's a dark room with huge screens, and you see the real-time status of the aircraft engines, the cautions and warnings, all these things. So the gentleman from the Air Force looked at that and recognized immediately that this was technology the Air Force didn't have and that they would really benefit from. And so he went back to Barksdale and suggested to some of his fellow officers that they really needed to come see it. And they did. And so we had many, community visits where Gerald came in, and I can't say enough good things about Gerald's efforts. Gerald saw the opportunity from his service in the Air Force, knew and agreed that yes, the Air Force really needs this. And what he helped with was bridging the gap. We were a commercial company. We had no knowledge of doing business with the DoD at all, not a clue where to start.
And there's 100 obstacles if you're going down that path.
There are. There most definitely are. And so he guided us through the SPIR program. And even that was a several-year endeavor.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight. But we succeeded at it, and ultimately were able to demonstrate in an airborne demonstration on a B-52 the IRIS capabilities, which is the name of the product.
Right.
And that's how we end up where
you
we
got
are
started.
today.
So I just read the article not long ago, came out last month, about how now you've won a StratFi, which is a higher level contract vehicle, that you're now going to run a true experiment across the Air Force. And if things go well, you could end up with this Shreveport developed technology on every aircraft in the Air Force inventory.
It's a possibility, and I think it's a very good possibility that for sure the legacy aircraft end up with the system. Some of the more modern airframes have some similar capability, but the legacy aircraft are wholly lacking anything like it. And so we think we can really have a big impact on the legacy
Now you're
airframes.
from Shreveport?
I am.
Where'd you go to high school?
Captain Shreve.
Okay, and then where'd you go to college?
Centenary.
You went to Centenary,
Product of
all
Centenary.
right.
I'd be embarrassed to tell you how long ago.
But you don't have to go there, okay? I just want to bring it back to, hey, here's a local hometown guy in the defense industry, okay? And with a commercial product that he took to the defense industry, okay? Because a lot of people believe that there are so many barriers to that industry that you can't bridge it.
Well, everybody thinks all technology is developed in California or Austin. I feel like at this point,
Well, and I will say, there's a lot of moving parts behind the curtain to Outerlink's technology. And so we have employees around the Boston area. We've had contractors as far as Arizona, so we have some talent spread around, but we're very proud for the core of the operation to be in Shreveport.
Yeah, and having the hometown
So
guy.
So talk about that. I mean, I think that's such an interesting thing. Benefits of doing it from Shreveport, things that might be difficult, like
tremendous advantage if you're trying to serve the Air Force, being 3 miles from Barksdale Air Force Base.
Wow.
And then having access to resources like Retired General Goodfellow's organization.
Keeping him in this community was a huge win for this community.
He's a true believer. He's very, very passionate about trying to accelerate technology for the DoD. And knows, the procurement system has its challenges.
It does.
And sees the
From
opportunity.
a previous life, I was in the military myself, on the cusp of some technology procurements, and I saw the acquisition system, and I went, "This is crazy." Okay, how complex that is to get something in, but you guys proved that, look, you can do it. You
You
can start
can
with an
do it.
SBIR,
Yep.
work your way through the process.
You can.
If there was somebody else out there that wanted to get into the defense industry that has a commercial technology, okay, what advice would you give them since you've now done that?
Well, I think the AFRL SIPR program is absolutely, tailor-made for those that are taking that first step. It's not as difficult as it might appear. And I've had the privilege now of working with several other companies that have gone through the process, and I've watched others succeed. It does work. It takes a little tenacity. But if you have a product or service that's innovative, that the government would benefit from, it is possible to go down that path.
It is. And I think having someone like Gerald who can look at the technology, understands the Air Force need,
Right.
okay, and get you through that and help you marry those two up, it almost always works out
Yeah.
for both parties.
Gerald kept a very good inventory of people he had worked with in his career who were really good at their specialties that work for him now. And so if there's a contracting question, anything that might arise as an obstacle, there's a good likelihood there's someone on his staff that's a subject matter expert that can help you through it.
Absolutely. I know a lot of the guys on his team. And that's kind of like Shreveport. We tell the story all the time. If you're in Shreveport, you're from Shreveport, chances are you need something, we know somebody.
Yes.
Okay, that you can get to get that done.
Yeah.
And Gerald is the guy, if you have a commercial technology, okay, he's the guy that can help you get connected in the Air Force. And
It's really exciting from a layperson standpoint that this kind of stuff is happening in Shreveport. And I think it's really encouraging of what can happen here. And
there's a lot of talent in Shreveport. There really is. And, I know, there's an effort to kind of create a technology corridor down I-20. And I have a lot of hope and enthusiasm that that's going to succeed. The basic building blocks are here. We just, need good community-minded folks pulling together to make it happen.
Yep, I agree. So you're a lifetime, citizen of this community. What do you think is going right? What are the good things about this community?
That goes back to the people. There are a lot of really special people here that are very dedicated to their community. And, despite the challenges, they're here and they're making the effort. And I think, as long as you have people dedicated to that vision, we'll get there.
So what are we to go there? What do we need to work on from that? Because
Telling the story, I think what
Yeah.
you're doing helps a lot, honestly. I think the story's not told. People have no idea what's going on in Shreveport,
I
Louisiana.
do believe that.
Whether it's Metro Aviation, that's the largest air medical completion house in the world, that's here in Shreveport, that is instrumental in spinning off a technology company like Outerlink, that's able to do some really interesting things. Very few people know those stories,
Yep.
but we're not the only ones.
Yeah, my problem is the story everybody tells is the negative story.
Yeah.
Okay? I think sometimes we're our biggest enemy. We want to focus on the negative story. We don't tell it. And definitely Outerlink and Metro Aviation is a huge success story.
Yeah, every
And-
time they tell me we're the leader of something bad that they always want to tell me, I'm just going to say, well, we're the leader of medical completion on helicopters too.
That's right.
Yeah,
Like, that should be my new
That won't
answer.
make the news. Okay,
Every time I go to lunch at Eastridge and they tell me something that we're the leader of something bad, I'm answering with that.
There you go.
I like that idea.
I was like, Don Rucker
Absolutely.
told me this is the answer.
It's the
I love
truth.
Well,
Aircraft on every continent.
Man, that's amazing.
it is, and thank you for coming, Don. This has been really great. I don't think enough people realize everything that Metro Aviation and Mike Stanberry has done out there, but they are a true success story in Shreveport.
Yes, please come back in a year or so and give us an update as things develop. This is really awesome.
Well, I'll look forward to it.
Yeah,
I
thank you
will.
so
All
much.
right, so
Thank y'all for having
thank
me.
you.